Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the 1 Million Cups podcast for the community, by the community. I'm super excited today to be here with the Linda Miller State Farm team, and we are going to jump into all the exciting things you ladies are doing for our community. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Linda, I'm just so grateful that you would come on here and spend your time. Just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into State Farm.
Sure. I'm born and raised in Omaha, Nebraska.
Fantastic.
Been here my whole life. Went away to college for a while, came back, and started in the insurance industry 30 years ago.
Amazing.
Yes. So it's been a long journey, but a really good one. And was originally in claims and fraud for another competitor, and then made the switch to become a State Farm agent several years ago.
I love that.
Yeah, it's been a really great career change, kind of midlife. So
that's great. That's fantastic. And I love that you went away and came back to Omaha.
Yes.
We're obviously very partial to Omaha here. So
Absolutely.
Super awesome. So what you own your own team, right?
Yes.
You're like a subdivision of that. How many is on your team?
I have 3, including me, a total of 4
Awesome.
licensed agents.
Amazing.
And, they're all amazing. My team has all been with me for a long time. I think combined experience, we have 50 years total.
That's so cool.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
And do you focus in the residential or commercial?
Residential-ish, but we also write business and commercial insurance.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Very, very clear. And then you also, beyond home, you also offer other services too. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes. We, the bread and butter, of course, is the home and auto insurance, what everyone thinks of from State Farm. But what is sometimes unknown is that we do offer health and life insurance policies as well.
Super important.
Totally. State Farm will be 103 years old next month.
Wow.
So
amazing.
A lot of longevity in the industry.
A lot of experience.
Yes. Very much so. So, very amazing company, the best out there, of course, in my biased opinion.
But we love that.
Yes,
awesome.
exactly.
Yeah, that is so great. That's so great. So you obviously have built your team from the ground up, and this is a podcast kind of for entrepreneurs, and we often are building our teams.
Yes.
What are the important traits that you're looking for when you're bringing on members?
Absolutely. I look for integrity, of course, honesty, just hard work ethic.
Sure.
And I think you can see that in someone pretty soon from meeting them for the first time.
Yeah.
I also look for compassion. The industry that we are in, we deliver some really great news, but then some really bad news as well.
Yes.
So I need someone who can really relate to people on a human level. I pride myself. I feel like we have the best team in the nation. Really, I have 3 amazing people, as I mentioned before.
That is so
great. And they really do a great service for our customers. We do take a holistic approach to our customers. Everyone in the office knows about the customers. We meet, talk about the specific accounts regularly. So we do have a really wide open, but team communication.
Awesome. Yeah, and you're right when you talk about insurance, like we all need it because unfortunately we need it because bad things can happen. I'm sure that's very challenging
Absolutely.
But very rewarding too, to help people through those very challenging situations. So
very rewarding. It really is. Yes.
That is awesome. And Linda, you've brought your associate, Toni Wildasin, with you as well. Nice to meet you, Toni. So tell me how you got started in the insurance world.
Sure. So I grew up in a really small town. Not very many opportunities. We just kind of had nursing homes, fast food, and factory. So when I first moved to Council Bluffs, I called networking, went to a chamber event, and I had met a State Farm agent. At the time, I had said, I just would like to, get some resources and kind of learn the climate of this industry. Check in with me in 2 or 3 years. And he said, Toni, the personality that you have, you won't last 2 or 3 years. Come on board.
Right.
So
I love that.
So I started working for a State Farm agent. He did retire. So getting into the industry was really just opportunity. Moving to Council Bluffs. You hear often kind of some jibs or jibes about Council Bluffs, but for me, coming from a town of 130 people.
Oh, wow.
Land of opportunity. So when I saw that Linda had an opening in her agency, I just called her up right away.
I love that. And I love that you took action on somebody seeing a quality in yourself. That takes a lot of bravery, and it's amazing where you've come because of that. So props to you. That's so awesome. And so you talked about insurance, but was there something that really inspired you about insurance? I know you said you'd kind of done some research. Was there any one particular reason or?
Yeah. So when I started with the State Farm agent, really just learning about all of the pieces, all of the things that you're protecting, because I had no idea anything about the insurance industry. So to start hearing about protecting people's most valuable assets, I was like, this is incredible, because all you ever hear about are the things that you're forced to have.
Right.
And so just learning that you could be a valuable resource to somebody who just doesn't know. Ultimately, you don't know what you don't know.
That's so fantastic. That's so awesome. You obviously interacted with a lot of different State Farm agents and kind of had your pick of who to work with. What brought you to Linda? What attracted you to that team?
Sure. So I met Linda about 6 years ago when she was starting agency. She's just really bold. She has a lot of compassion, a lot of empathy. At the end of the day, like it matters. It matters how people are treated.
Absolutely.
That's inside of the office as far as the team and customers as well. And Linda, she really takes a holistic approach, asking the right questions. I don't know if you've seen A League of Their Own, but there's a quote by Tom Hanks. He says, "There's no crying in beast spring."
Yes, I love that movie. It's so great. So great.
Right. So kind of the way we roll at Linda's office is there's no assuming in insurance.
I love that.
And to ask the right questions. So
yeah, you want to make sure you get people on the right footing and protected the right way.
Correct.
So great. So great. Awesome. So what do you think would be, you mentioned there's so many different types of insurance and you learned about all the different things. What's one thing you think people aren't using that they could really benefit more from?
Sure. Life insurance, big one. Every day your family's expecting that salary is going to come through the door every single day. And a lot of people do have their benefits through their employer. Great option.
Yeah.
It's affordable. We just like to let people know most often that's going to be 1 or 2 years of your salary. I'm expecting my husband's salary for about 50 more years.
Right.
So just kind of bringing that into focus.
Yeah.
Also your income. Everyone insures your cell phone, your car, lots of things like that. But don't think about what happens if I can't work. Same kind of topic at work. They have lots of benefits. Good. Typically, it's going to be about 60% of your income. So that's where we step in and ask the right questions. What would that look like for this person or this person?
Yeah, such a life change could be really traumatic, not only emotionally, but from a financial impact too. It could be really challenging. So thank you so much for bringing it up. That's awesome. What do you think? You guys are a strong team, obviously. I see that in the way that you've built the culture. I see that, in how you were attracted. What's maybe one thing that you would say really is the core of what makes your team so special?
Yeah, so the holistic approach, ultimately, we have one company. We just focus State Farm. So we know that they have strengths. And then from there, it's just us just getting in position in the right spot to have the right conversation. What differentiates us, is that holistic approach and just all hands on deck.
I love that. That's so great.
Yes. We have different lanes, Tom, he helps with the onboarding of new clients, saving people money, educating, making sure they know what they have and how to utilize it.
Yeah.
Luke has been with Linda for about 5 years.
Awesome.
He's the office manager, both sides of the spectrum.
That's great.
And then I am the customer experience specialist.
I love that.
So just kind of divvying into making sure that everybody has green light experiences.
That's great. I see strong teams built really well with overlapping skills, but also a lot of variation in skills too, because then you're all bringing something different to the table. So you've done such a great job there. That's great.
Yeah, thank you.
So Linda, tell me just a little bit about how you guys involve yourselves in the community.
Yes, so we are very involved in the community. We are members of Suburban Rotary, which we love.
Fantastic. Yes.
Also, Hands, Hearts, Paws has
Okay.
been a passion of mine. I've always had dogs and just passionate about animal rescue.
Very cool. Tell us a little bit about what that particular organization does.
So they rescue. I think it's primarily dogs.
Okay.
And rehome them.
That's
find
amazing.
appropriate places
Yeah.
to rehome the animals. And we did partner with them several years ago. It was in the middle of COVID on a social media campaign.
Oh, very cool.
I love that organization. Also, the Ronald McDonald
Oh,
House
very
for
cool.
many years.
Yeah.
We've been providing meals to families. And,
Amazing.
at the Ronald McDonald House, it's an amazing organization.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes. That's so needed for those parents in that very challenging time, when
Yes.
everything seems uncertain. Having those meals is just one thing off their plate. So I
Absolutely.
love that. That's so amazing. That's
And
so great.
Lymphoma Leukemia Society, we
Oh, wow.
sponsor
That
as
is
well.
so cool.
Yeah.
You guys are so active. I can see when you talk about that holistic nature of your company that you're not just, you're protecting people, but you're also bringing that, support and really encouragement to the community as well. That's so great. It
Thank
really obvious is very obvious from everything you've said.
Oh.
So that's so awesome.
Thank you.
Where do you see yourself going? What's next for the Linda Miller
Sure.
Insurance Agency?
Well, we are continuing to grow. We've developed amazing processes in our office
Awesome. Yeah.
that enable us to meet with our customers at least once a year, if not more often. I think just the spread in the community.
Mhm.
We do work a lot on referrals, and we receive a lot of referrals from our customers.
Great.
We are kind of moving into the investment platforms potentially
cool.
as well.
All right.
State Farm is very holistic, as we mentioned before. And so we're looking to delve into that area.
All
As
right.
Toni mentioned before, we do look at, the holistic approach to a
Yeah.
household, making sure that they're taken care of on all aspects.
Yeah.
So that's kind of our movement forward. But
Great.
and then growth, of course.
Yes.
So potentially adding some new team members to our amazing team.
All right. Well, if anyone's looking for a job, it sounds like
All right.
checking out the Linda Miller team would be awesome.
Perfect.
Do you have maybe a story or something fun that kind of would be a great note to end on for our podcast?
Sure. We do have a story that happened, and it's fresh in our minds. Not too long ago, we received a call from a woman, and we didn't know her necessarily. She called just to find out something about a bill that she received in the mail for her husband.
Oh, gosh.
And she had mentioned that her husband had passed away about 6 months ago.
Oh.
And she didn't even realize he had any products at all with State Farm.
Oh, my goodness.
Right. So he had taken out a life insurance policy about 25 years before, and
Well,
she
thank
didn't
goodness.
know about the policy.
Oh, my goodness.
And he would always pay the renewals, of course.
Sure.
So after he had passed away, which unfortunately we didn't even realize he had passed away.
Well, clearly she didn't even know that your policy existed.
No,
So, yeah.
Not at all. So she called us to let us know that he had passed away and was curious about what the policy was.
Yeah.
And as it turns out, it was a life insurance policy with a $250,000 benefit.
Oh, my gosh.
So, of course, it brought tears to all of our eyes. She was in assisted living, and she had been living there with her husband, and he had, he was in memory care. So he had a lot of bills, had
Yes.
built up a lot of
Oh,
debt
my
for
gosh.
them. She was going to
Yes.
be moving out because she couldn't afford it anymore.
Oh,
So
my gosh.
it was literally a godsend.
life-changing for
It was
her to stay with
absolutely.
her friends, to stay where she was comfortable, to just have that financial freedom of getting all those bills paid.
Absolutely.
Oh, my
It was
gosh.
life-changing. So
Amazing.
we drove the check to the assisted living facility. And
I'm sure there
it was
were
beautiful.
tears everywhere
There
and
were.
hugging. And
It was amazing.
what an amazing
All her
story.
friends were there
Oh,
from
my gosh.
the home. Yeah,
What
it was
an
beautiful.
amazing, and what a great way to celebrate a life, right?
Absolutely.
I think that's just such a great closure story for her to have
Yeah,
too in a
absolutely.
hard time.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for sharing that. Thank you so much for everything you do for our community and being
Thank
here on the
you.
podcast. And thanks for watching. And we will see you guys next episode.
Thank you.